Thank you for tuning in for the latest episode of the Rice Crypto Show. And joining me is Daniel Polotsky. He is the founder and CEO of CoinFlip. CoinFlip is the world's leading Bitcoin ATM operator. But before we get into it, if this just happens to be your first time ever watching any of my videos, I do encourage you to explore my channel. Make sure you're subscribed, smash that like button, and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with my videos as they come out. I encourage everyone to check out my Patreon channel where I post up exclusive content. You get early access to videos, and it's a way to support the channel directly. Follow my sister channels on Library and Odyssey where I post up extra content. Check out my audio podcast, Rice Radio, that is hosted on anchor.fm. It's available on every major podcasting platform at Rice Radio, with new episodes coming out weekly. Also, in case you haven't heard, I am working with Money Metals Exchange, and you can get a free half ounce of silver. If you're a first-time buyer, you visit moneymetals.com, you purchase $100 or more, and you use the promo code RICE, R-I-C-E, you'll get a free half ounce of silver, and it's an additional way to support the channel as well. And it makes for a great holiday gift. So I'm going to have links down below for everything I just mentioned and everything we talk about on today's show. And we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, joining me on today's show is Daniel Polotsky, who is the founder and CEO of CoinFlip. And CoinFlip is the world's leading Bitcoin ATM operator. Daniel, I appreciate you accepting my invitation to come on the show. How you doing today?
Fantastic. Any day above ground is a good one. How about you?
It's definitely a blessing to wake up alive. I'm doing great, man. Staying busy and trying to pay attention to all this craziness that we have going on.
Yeah.
On a political level and in our nation, geopolitically, the economic climate. It's an interesting time to be alive.
True. Wouldn't trade it for anything though.
No, I agree, man. And that was one of the reasons too I wanted to bring you on the show, is because being involved with a Bitcoin ATM company, this gives people access to being able to buy and sell cryptocurrencies really easy, especially for people who want to kind of not go through like applications like Coinbase and things like that.
Right.
But before we get into what CoinFlip is and why you started it, a little background on who you are, Daniel, and how you ultimately got involved in crypto.
Yeah, for sure. So I grew up in Deerfield, Illinois. It was a northern suburb of Chicago. My parents are immigrants from the Soviet Union. They immigrated to the country in 1991. I was born 3 years later, so I actually can still be the president.
That's cool.
I went to Deerfield High School. I played varsity tennis. I was into, I was on the mathletes team. I started a bunch of philanthropy clubs, whatever. I went to college at Northwestern in Evanston, Illinois, and I started to kind of like be in, I had gigs in sales. So I was selling Cutco knives, and I also did sales for Uber and Coca-Cola. And then I also had a bunch of financial internships, like at Morgan Stanley, Citadel, RJ O'Brien, like traditional finance firms. And so I always kind of had an interest in finance and the economy. And in 2013, the way I heard about Bitcoin was actually because I think at the time the price was pumping up to about $1,000 a coin, which obviously now seems like a great deal.
Yeah.
But back in the day, that was like huge, it was like pumping up like crazy. And obviously when the price goes up, the news start to pick it up. And when the news started to pick it up, I started reading about Bitcoin in the news. And at first I just kind of like, whatever, this is pretty cool, but I just kind of left it alone. But then the more and more articles I read, the more I was like, eventually it kind of hit me. Like it wasn't an immediate thing like, oh, I need to get some Bitcoin. But after enough exposure, I was like, damn, like this is actually pretty cool. It's kind of like a digital gold 2.0, this thing that you can send halfway across the world, 10 minutes or less, all on a fraud-proof database, open 24 hours a day, not issued by the government, like limited in number, just like gold, except even more limited in number than gold, because unlike gold where you could just like find a bunch of gold somewhere, you know, on another planet or somewhere on Earth where we didn't even know it existed. Like, we know there's going to be 21 million Bitcoin. So I'm like, this is very, very cool. And the next step was kind of to go buy some Bitcoin. And I went on Coinbase, and it's, you know, it probably took them like 4 to 6 weeks. I forgot how long it was, but just so absurd number of time to onboard my account. So some things haven't changed. But in the meantime, when I was kind of waiting for Coinbase to onboard me, I was like, okay, you know, it's time to get Bitcoin now. Like, how do I get Bitcoin now? And
Right.
my answer was actually a Bitcoin ATM. It was the first Bitcoin ATM in Chicago. It was at Cassava Bread in Wrigleyville. It was this dope empanada spot. So I went there, had some empanadas, and bought some Bitcoin for the first time.
Very cool. Do you remember the name of the company?
Midwest BTC.
Are they
No longer in business.
okay? So, and what was that? Was that like 2013,
2013,
2014?
2014.
Okay, and then ultimately it was like around 2015 that you decided to start your own Bitcoin ATM service.
It was in 2014. I mean, we officially incorporated in 2015, but the conception and the idea was toward the end of 2014. That's
Okay.
when
Very cool. I mean, it's obviously at that time there wasn't as much competition. I know that with the 2017 bull run and stuff, you started seeing a lot of different ATM operators pop up, and a lot of them aren't even around anymore either.
Right. It's
Which,
not as easy of a business to run as some people think.
no, it's not. I interviewed somebody before in the past and was asking about it. And we'll talk about you guys with the hosting of the ATMs, but I was talking to somebody about this, and I guess every state has different regulations as far as the ATM policy. So it's not uniform. You can't just operate the way you would in California in another state. So you've got to actually understand all the laws and regulations and all the things you've got to comply with to be able to operate legally.
That's a fact.
Which is crazy, because I didn't realize, you would think with I've been studying a lot of different things in regards to freedom, and came across like commerce law and UCC law, and that's Uniform Commercial Code. They make all of the commerce code uniform in all the states. So you'd think they would be doing something in regards to ATMs, making them a little bit more uniform. But with that being said, I mean, you guys have grown over 1,000 terminals since you guys have started. You guys have serviced over 300,000 US based customers and processed nearly $1 billion in transactions, which is pretty impressive. And you're growing out right now pretty much to be the leading Bitcoin ATM operators, not just something that you're putting as a slogan or a spiel. Like, this is actually something you guys are backing up, which is very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you pointing that out. I think that, I'm super grateful to be where I am today. I think that there was a lot of hard work, not just from me, but from my, wonderful team members. And I mean, the goal is simple, right? Just put out Bitcoin to as many people as possible, change the world, as they all love to say.
Exactly. Change the world, be the change, practice change.
Yeah. Every entrepreneur, change the world, make a better place. The whole
I love it,
Silicon
dude.
Valley, it's a meme at this point.
With the KYC and AML requirements for people who are unfamiliar, that's like know your customer, anti-money laundering laws, the banking regulation in the United States, securities and all that. It's very strict with wanting to know who your customers are. And I know some ATM companies with Bitcoin don't require it for certain amounts and do require it for other amounts. How does that work with CoinFlip? Because I don't think there's any coin flips around where I live for me to actually try a CoinFlip ATM out here in
For
North
real?
Carolina. I don't
When's
think
the nearest
so.
ATM?
Huh?
Where's the nearest ATM to you?
I have a couple Bitcoin ATMs.
But I'm saying the nearest CoinFlip one.
I'd have to look it up. I actually haven't done that yet.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe, who knows? Maybe in the past few weeks since you looked it up last, we put one.
Yeah, let me
more
check
or less nearby.
Can you kind of go over the AML,
Yeah.
KYC stuff, and then I'll kind of look up in the meantime and see what I can find.
So you're not really going to be able to get anywhere with taking, no KYC. I mean, a lot of people who are pro freedom, anti-surveillance, they have that, that's a sticking point for them. They want no KYC, but I mean, we still have to comply with the regulations, stop money laundering, stop terrorist financing, things that most people don't want as well. I don't think any of the Bitcoin ATM operators take no KYC, and if they do, they're typically don't last too long because they get shut down by the feds. But for us, up to $900 is a name and a phone number, which is verified because it's sent directly to your phone number, and you get like a text code, and then you have to put in that text code to make sure that you are the owner of that phone number. Above $900 is a ID and a selfie. And then above 3,000, typically we take like a little bit more information, like purpose.
Apparently there are a couple in my vicinity. So now that I know that, I'll have to go check one out and make a little video about it, because there's one that's like about 2 miles away from me apparently. So.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I didn't know this. So it's been a minute since I've looked up the locations. Yeah. And I will be honest, I don't use the Bitcoin ATMs a lot because it's not one of the, it's not something that I've utilized just because of me being able to earn cryptocurrencies and have other different kind of things. But the idea of a Bitcoin ATM, I'm sure, is going to be something I'm going to be utilizing a lot in the future, especially when we see like this bull run start taking complete full effect. I'm out and I need a little extra cash. I can cash in a little bit of my Bitcoin on the fly.
Hit us up for a discount code. We'll definitely hook you up.
Sweet. And I've noticed that like on Twitter and stuff, various people be promoting discount codes. You guys have a price match, which I thought was really cool, where it says on the website that you guys take pride in having the lowest rates of any Bitcoin ATM operator, and you'll price match basically within a 5-mile radius.
Yeah. Honestly, if you even ask us, we'll price match within the 10-mile radius, but 95% of the time, it doesn't even come down to that. We're already miles lower than our competitors, and you can verify that for yourself. You can go on coinatmradar.com, which is kind of like a map of all the Bitcoin ATMs with their fees. And I'm not just talking out of my ass here. Like, we have the lowest fees in the industry by far, and I think that's super important because I want as many people to have Bitcoin as possible and offer a fair product.
And that would be honestly one of my biggest problems before with using the Bitcoin ATMs is the high fees, because sometimes you would see like 15% and
20%. Yeah.
That's a little ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to pay 20% extra on the price, but I understand the business model. I understand capitalism. It's just, that's probably why you don't see as many of those companies that started to tail into 2017 aren't around anymore, because they didn't really think this
still want to offer a fair product. Capitalism encourages that, I think.
Yeah, most definitely, dude. Well, this is, aside from what we've talked about, I love the fact that we have options, and now that I know that there are coin flips right around the corner for me, and like I said, I want to do a video. Are there what other cryptocurrencies besides like your Bitcoin and your Ethereums can you purchase via the ATMs? And do they change up per location, or are they all uniform as far as what's being offered?
They're every ATM has the exact same cryptocurrencies. We actually offer 9 different cryptocurrencies at our ATM. I believe it's Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. Oh God, I always ask to name these. Tron, Dash, Stellar Coin, Chainlink, Binance, and USDC. Apologies if I missed one, but yeah, we're always looking to add more coins.
Where
but at the same time, we do want to keep our consumers safe.
Oh,
no problem. We want to keep our consumers safe because we want to make sure that there's enough demand for it so that they can get in and out of a position easily if they want to. Good trading volume. And we obviously want it to not, we don't want to be unlicensed securities dealers or anything like that. So there is a due diligence process for coins that we offer.
That's smart. And I'm glad you say that. And you guys do offer some education stuff on the website as well, which is, I find to be really helpful for people, especially new people. So I'll have links down below for everything that we're talking about on today's episode, including the ATM radar that you said. I'll catch the link from when I do the edit of the video. And then coinflip.tech is the actual website for CoinFlip itself. This is where you can find your nearest ATM. This is where you get here's where it's got a little bit of information with the radiuses and stuff. Yeah. And a lot more further information goes through pricing. And when I was talking about some of the educational stuff, you could buy gift cards too, which is a really cool concept.
Yeah, that's our newest little offering there.
Which we'll talk about the gift cards and the hosting stuff, but I wanted to show like through the website where you guys had down in at the explore section, the cryptocurrency 101. So for people who want to get a little bit of an education, a lot of websites that are dealing with crypto kind of have some education elements, but this is definitely some good information, and I would encourage people to check that out. So how do these gift cards work?
Yeah, so basically what you can do is, I mean, you go to it's super simple. You go to buy Bitcoin with gift card, or sorry, buy gift card with Bitcoin, exactly what it says on the thing. You go on the website and you can actually purchase gift cards from your favorite retailers through eGifter with Bitcoin, which is kind of cool because then it kind of, makes it more of a currency. I obviously think it's more of a store of value, at least now because it's so volatile.
Yeah.
But if you do want to use, if you do want to use it as currency, if you do want to spend it, I'm all down for giving those options.
Okay. And you can use all the different cryptocurrencies that are available on CoinFlip's ATMs as well.
Not sure. Don't quote me on it, but
Okay.
I think just Bitcoin, but I'm really not sure, and I don't want to give.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Well, make sure if
Dustin
you're
from Business
interested,
Development is the one that roll it out.
definitely. I mean, if somebody's interested in buying a gift card, we'll make sure that you should make sure you're doing your own due diligence and do your research, because I always encourage people to make sure that they are researching things for themselves. And just because Daniel says that CoinFlip has the lowest fees in the Bitcoin ATM operating business doesn't mean that it's true unless you check it out for yourself. So
True. Fact.
I definitely encourage people to do that. Are you guys going to have like, I think this would be kind of cool, like any option where you could eventually sell back your gift cards?
Yeah, we are working on it, and
Okay.
I think that's something that obviously makes a lot of sense as well.
It is something that I got early access to the backed application, and they have something similar on the backed application that they're going to be offering as well. What about the potentiality of a future like ATM card or like a debit card?
Like a flip card or like a gift card for CoinFlip or something different? Or like a crypto debit card?
Yeah, like a crypto debit card.
Mm-hmm. It's something that we've definitely looked into. It's just, I feel like a lot of companies are going down that path right now. It's not like, it doesn't seem like it's super easy to roll out something like that. And I think cryptocurrency is still it's still definitely new and very volatile, like I said. So it's not something that people use to spend a lot. But I think that obviously it's great that all these other companies are doing it. And it's something we have looked into and definitely haven't ruled out.
Well, you're right with the saturation. I think that I think it's Block Card is pretty much offering everybody like their own version through their Block Card series. But I didn't know if you guys are going to try to capitalize on something like that. A lot of, I mean, you're seeing people launching their own tokens for no particular reason. So are we going to see a CoinFlip token in the future?
I don't know, maybe something as like a discount code or a rewards program or whatever, but nothing that I really want to be traded on like the open market. Not like kind of like a security token or anything like that.
Right.
Maybe it's kind of like if we have like, we're coming out with our Flip wallet, maybe if you could like use a token as like a rewards program, 3-4% off, like kind of like credit card points. Like I think that could be pretty cool.
That would be very cool. And that's a great idea, actually. And that's kind of what I was thinking more that you guys would do is holders of the token or something like that could get discounts on kind of like,
or like redeem the tokens for like just like points, like cash back.
Yeah. And then you have your merchandise store. Maybe it could be redeemable for CoinFlip merchandise, which you're wearing a cool shirt. You sent me a bunch of cool shirts. So I definitely got to give props. I love that your guys' designs of your shirts.
Yeah. We're trying to be more like, trying to kind of give Bitcoin a more like millennial, like younger, like cool type image as opposed to, as opposed to like the techie, just nerdy kind of image it has now. So like, not that that's bad or anything, but we want to kind of like appeal to younger audiences and be kind of like, hip in quotes.
Right. No, well, I mean, you're a younger guy, so it makes sense. I mean, I love the George Washington kind of Bitcoin logo combo too. I think that's a really cool design.
Yeah. And we also have Bitcoin Daddy shirts now and, all this other
I think I
stuff.
have a tank top, a Bitcoin Daddy tank top.
Nice.
It's just a little too cold for a tank top right now, but it will get utilized, I assure you.
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate you hooking me up with the merch. For people who are interested in hosting a CoinFlip Bitcoin ATM, I always want to say a BTM. That's what I prefer to call them.
That's fine. Plenty of people call it that.
Yeah, I just like the idea, just kind of get away from the idea of an ATM. ATMs
Right.
seem very bank and dirty fiat oriented, where the BTMs just sounds like the future of the
Right.
TMs.
Yes, yes. It's more like a vending machine anyway than a Bitcoin, like an ATM. You know, I mean, we do have some ATMs that kind of like dispense cash, much like a bank ATM. But I mean, it's mostly people buying Bitcoin in exchange for, or buying buying Bitcoin in exchange for cash. So it's more like kind of like a vending machine than a ATM. But I think the name Bitcoin ATM was already kind of like established before I even joined the industry. So I couldn't really.
It was, and a lot of I've heard people use the BTM thing, but I don't ever see it like on the actual devices or anything like that.
Right. Sometimes there are some companies that have BTM in their name now that I think about it. So it's not completely, not used. But yeah, most of the people call it just a Bitcoin ATM.
So how does this work for somebody that either wants to, one, host the actual CoinFlip Bitcoin ATM, or somebody who's looking to try to make a passive income by suggesting it to local businesses and themselves becoming kind of that connector? How does that work for on both
Yeah.
ends?
So I like to call this like a win-win-win situation. CoinFlip benefits because we have a place where, we can sell Bitcoin to people close to 24 hours a day. The store itself benefits because in exchange for just a very small footprint, our ATMs are pretty small, maybe like 2.5 square feet on the ground. They get passive income. They get rent every single month. They have the opportunity for a profit share. And we spend, thousands and thousands of dollars each year marketing their location. Because it's not like you just come to a Bitcoin ATM, like you see it and you're like, oh, I guess I'm going to buy some Bitcoin. It's more like I'm going to look it up, where to buy Bitcoin for cash, where's the nearest Bitcoin ATM, and then I'm going to go there. So it's kind of like a destination location. So we drive a lot of traffic to these store owners. And then we also pay the salesperson as well to close the locations. And, anyone can email our head of sales, Ken, Ken at CoinFlip.tech to hopefully get that, gig. It's completely on your own time. We do have some in-house positions too, but the contractor role is completely on your own time. You get an upfront amount for closing the ATMs. And then, you probably get a percentage of the fee for a certain amount of time. And, there are people who just for one spot, will get like $3,000-$4,000. So it's pretty nice over the course of the 2 years, obviously not up front, but.
Right. Yeah, well, I mean, anything that people can be doing to earn passive income and get multiple streams of passive income, I mean, it's definitely a win-win-win because, I mean, with everything that's going on with the economy, with these continual shutdowns here in North Carolina, man, they just yesterday the governor did a press release and said basically 5:00 p.m. on Friday they're going into a 10:00 p.m. curfew.
Wow.
And all the bars or any place serving alcohol has to stop serving by 9:00 p.m.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like the same deal in Chicago for sure.
It's crazy, man. It's just
backing down.
So, I mean, if you have ways that you can earn passive income, when you get situations where you're not able to work specifically, there are lots of different things, especially in the cryptocurrency space, that you can do to be able to bring in different streams of income. So, I mean, I would suggest to anybody, if you know of a business where you think something like this can be hosted, or if you are a business yourself, I'm going to have links down below for Ken's email address so you can contact him in regards to that as well. Because the more of these things we have around, obviously, the more accessibility people are going to have to cryptocurrencies, and with having these low fees and the price match, which obviously doesn't really come into effect often because
not too often. No.
You're doing your homework. You're doing your homework, son, and make sure you're getting out that good rate. I love it, man. I love it. I'm really impressed with what you guys have done. I mean, I love the professionalism. I like how you guys have been giving back to the crypto community and just doing a lot to just build not just a brand, but a good, wholesome brand. I get the social aspects behind what you're trying to do, and I appreciate it.
I appreciate, you for being a part of our community, for having me on the show, and, for repping our gear.
No problem, man. No problem. I was going to see if there was anything else here that I wanted to cover. I definitely
Maybe
want to
CoinFlip Preferred. It's not on our website right now, but it's a separate website. We just have it at cfpreferred.com. But that's kind of, if you don't want to use a Bitcoin ATM, or, you don't have a Bitcoin ATM around you, or you want to use a wire transfer, like CoinFlip Preferred is the way to go.
maybe I'm spelling preferred wrong, and I'm having
cfpreferred.com.
How do you how am I spelling preferred?
Preferd.
P-E-R-F.
Preferd. Preferred.
That's what I had. P-E-R-F-E-R-R-E-D. Is it .com? Is it
cfpreferred.com? Yes. Let me see. Yeah, CF Preferred. CFPREF. It's a single F and a double R. PREF.
E-R-E-F? I have per, not pre.
Preferred.
Preferred, not preferred.
See if it loads now.
See what happens here. Did we do it? Did the teamwork work? It worked.
Woohoo.
So personalized and private services to fulfill all your cryptocurrency trading needs. Looking to trade, make a trade of 1,000 or more, become a preferred client. So is this kind of like an OTC, but like a smaller buy, or a smaller, because most of the time with OTC, the people are requiring like hundreds of $1,000 minimum.
Exactly. So that's kind of a need that we definitely saw, is that the average retail client, I mean, we do service institutions as well, but the average retail client has nowhere to buy Bitcoin OTC. So we kind of fill that need.
Okay, sweet.
You need as little as $1,000 to trade on our desk, which I think is way better than, like a Cumberland or someone else, like who you said has a minimum of like $100,000 to trade.
Counterparty.
And we also have a very white glove service. We pick up the phone 24 hours a day. It's all on the phone. We educate our customers about Bitcoin and make sure they're making an informed purchase. And you can always reach somebody on the phone, which I think is something that's really lacking in a lot of websites these days.
Especially in cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
I mean, good luck trying to get in touch with Coinbase on the phone.
It's literally criminal, I think. Like, I don't understand why.
Especially when you're dealing with the technology that people are going to have problems with. It's not easy. So if you've got some older person who's doing this and they're not understanding how to send and receive, and they just need just a little help. And you would think as much money as Coinbase makes that they would be able to utilize a service like that. But
yeah, but it's like no companies do it. It's like Coinbase doesn't do it. Like Kraken doesn't do it. Uber doesn't do it. Like Google doesn't do it. Like why is it so hard? Like you make like billions of dollars a year. Like why can't you just get somebody to speak to somebody? I don't know. It's always boggled my mind.
Very cool, man. I'm just kind of just looking over this since I hadn't really heard of it before. And I like the idea of like a kind of what I just saw there for a moment. Basically it's like a concierge service, a crypto concierge service. For trading and for education.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. Definitely had to look at this a little bit more, and I'll have links down below for this as well. And we're definitely going to have you back on. Maybe I'll bring on somebody else from the team, because I know you got a fairly large team there at CoinFlip. So
that'll be dope.
Before we wrap things up, did you have anything that you wanted to cover, or any final thoughts you wanted to leave people with?
Just the fact that I think that Bitcoin is going to be huge in 2021. I think we're on the precipice of a huge bull market, and, do your own research, as you like to say, and hopefully you'll use CoinFlip for your buying or selling needs, because we do credit card, we do wire transfer, and we do cash. So we got it all here.
Sweet. I love it, dude. I love it. And I really appreciate, I do appreciate your time, and appreciate the information and transparency. If you could bear with me 1 second, I want to wrap up, and I want to talk to you real quick after I'm done recording.
Yeah, I appreciate your time as well.
So ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm going to have links down below for everything that we talked about on today's show. And if this is your first time ever watching any of my videos, I do encourage you to explore my channel. Make sure you're subscribed, smash that like button, hit that notification bell. Make sure you're checking out my Patreon channel, where I post up exclusive content, early access to videos, and it's a way to support the channel. Also, check out my audio podcast, Rice Radio, hosted on anchor.fm and available on every major podcasting platform. And follow my sister channels on Library and Odyssey. This way you know where to find me in case YouTube decides to pull the kill switch on my channel, which could happen at any point.
Any day.
So, as always, I encourage everyone to be the change by practicing change.